fifth session of education theme, and we will be tackling about emotional intelligence with the help of our special guest for today, who's a certified life coach with a passion for helping individuals achieve their full potential, not only for the achieve their full potential. I mean, not only that, she has a master's degree in neuro-linguistic programming, if I'm not mistaken, a successful researcher and entrepreneur, and a loving mom of 2 kids. Let's all welcome Ms. Meenakshi Iyer.
Thank you.
I'm so nervous, my God.
Good morning, everyone. Can I get a little bit more energy? Did we eat breakfast today? That's better. So, welcome to the session. Today's session is going to be on the science of wellness. Thank you, Rakesh and Shekhar, for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here and talk to all of you guys. The agenda for today's session is going to be, we are going to understand the dynamics of stress, what causes stress, how can we take some tools and strategies to alleviate the stress. Most importantly, how can we manage our relationships at work, right? And also for people who deal with clients, how do we manage our relationship with the end clients? I want the session to be as interactive as possible. So if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand and I'll be happy to answer any questions. A little bit introduction about me. That's me, Meenakshi. I worked in the corporate IT field for about 15 years and then realized, what am I doing? So I decided to follow my passion, which is to go ahead and assist people like you guys. I learned NLP, I learned hypnotherapy, I learned different forms of healing, energy healing, access bars, and today I'm here standing in front of you. Just like you guys, I'm a mother. I have blessed with 2 beautiful children, 14 and 9 years old, a wife, and an avid sci-fi fan. So imagine a situation. It's Monday morning, okay? You slept late last night. Can we distribute the papers a bit later? I want all attention here, please. Yeah, so imagine it's Monday morning, you slept late on the Sunday night, so you decide to snooze your alarm, yeah, and you decide to sleep in for 10 extra minutes. You get up, you get ready, you come on the road, there is unusual traffic that day, so you're already thinking, oh my God, I'm already late and there's so much traffic, what do I do? You arrive in office 20 minutes later than your usual time. The minute you arrive and open your laptop or your desktops, you see there's an email that's demanding your urgent attention. You have to reply to it. And suddenly your phone starts ringing. Maybe it's the client calling you for some query or for some doubt, some clarification. And then a colleague comes into your office or to your cabin and says, can we look at this? This is really urgent. Has anybody gone through this situation where there are 20 things demanding your attention at the same time? Is it very common? So how do you feel? What do you do in this situation? Sorry? Relax, very good. What else can you do? Okay. If just by relaxing, does everything get sorted out automatically? No. Absolutely. We have to relax first and then prioritize, right? So these days, everyone seems to be stressed all the time. Whoever you talk to, it's as if it's almost become a part of our life, as if it's a part of my body, it's a part of my mind, right? So what do? Let's take a step back and understand what is stress. Okay, so stress happens when certain demands are placed on us where it challenges our ability to cope. It could be because of the situation, it could be because of certain people, right? So how stress works? Typically, the physiological response that is designed is the flight or the fight mode is activated within us. What does it mean? We go into a panic state or a panic mode, and that stops our normal thinking. The body and the mind think that, oh, there is some perceived danger and I need to do something about this right away. So instead of thinking clearly, being focused, we actually go 4 steps back and we start doing things that are not expected of us. So what do we do in this situation, right? When the panic mode is activated, it's okay to go into the fight or flight mode. Let's say if we are in jungle and I'm trying to run away from a tiger, but when I'm working in an office environment, most likely it's not going to help me in any ways, right? So let's first understand what are some modern day stressors. So talking about modern day stressors, the culture in the organization. So we all come from different nationalities, yeah? So how many of you are from India?
Most of them.
Okay, Filipino.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, okay. Any other nationality?
Pakistan.
Pakistan, right? So we all come from different backgrounds, different cultures, and the culture of the organization is broadly based on what are the organization's values, what is their vision, and what is their goals. However, because of the diverse backgrounds that we come from, sometimes we may feel absolutely motivated and supported by others, and sometimes we might be very, very challenged and we may feel, oh, this person doesn't understand me, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Job description. All of you came in for interview here, or you got directly your offer letters? Interview, yeah? So during interview, you were given a brief job description of the role that you're expected to perform, right? However, there are different teams working in collaboration on very big projects. So I understand there is a maintenance team, there is a design team, there is an accountant, there is an HR, right? So typically for the success of any big project, to ensure that there are no I can see a few people already laughing. Yeah. So typically for the success of the bigger projects, it's very important that we all support each other. So at that point, what needs to happen is we need to rise up, and we cannot say that this is beyond the scope of my work. If you want to ensure that everybody is working together and each team is successful and you're able to deliver the project successfully. Most of I think the maintenance teams work on the site, right? So there are operational targets given for each and every team, and again, in case if we decide to work individually and we are not aware, we are oblivious to other people around us, and we decide to work like this, then there will be challenges, and obviously that causes stress straight away. The physical work environment. Sometimes when you go on site, we live in Dubai, the temperatures might be very high, right? There is probably not proper ventilation, maybe the AC is not working, maybe smaller things are not in place. Immediately you start panicking. You go into the panic mode saying, oh my God, what do I do? How do I address this? Relationships at work. So when we come into the organization, let's say I'm a newcomer, I just joined in today, and if I see that there is already a group of people who are working well together, how do I feel about it? Anybody? How do I feel about it? I've just come in today, I don't know any of you, and I'm joining the team. How would I feel about it? A bit insecure, intimidating. Anything else? Guys, please, I want some interaction. Nervous? Yes, very good. So what is very important is we build good connections, good relationships at work. We need a good bond, right? Let's say if me and Rakesh are going to work together, it's important that I understand Rakesh as a person and he understands me as a person, so that we know what are each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we complement each other in order to ensure that both the teams or both the people get success. Any change management. In case if there is any new policy or procedure or a new process that has to be implemented, sometimes if it is not explained well, if people don't understand the why and the process, then they start questioning. There is challenge in accepting the problem or the change. So it is very important that in such situations you understand the whole process so that the stress levels are lower. Lack of support. When we are in an office organization, we may have few close friends, right, who understand me very well because I drink coffee with them, I go for lunch with them, I go out bowling with them, right? So when I come back into office, I know that even if I did a small mistake, she will understand because she hangs out with me all the time, so she knows me very well, right? However, if I do the same thing maybe with those 4 people who absolutely don't know me, they may immediately go and complain, or they may say, what are you doing? This is not right. So it's very important to get that support from the entire team to work together, especially when you have bigger projects and deadlines. on-site and on-time handover. So I understand that you guys work a lot into fire safety and other HSE projects, right? So there would be tight deadlines in terms of what you need to deliver. So let's say if there is an inspection on the site by civil defense or by some other authorities and a few smaller things are missing, the client tends to panic. And that same feeling is then passed on to the team here. But at that point, it is important how you handle the situation. So these are some common examples of stress that could happen in our daily lives. Now, specific to workplace, right? So again, coming back to tight deadlines, let's say there is a big project and the deliverable is end of this month. However, you have already identified that there are certain key action items that have been missed in the deadline previously. So you may be expected to put in longer hours than usual. You cannot then say, oh, it's 6 o'clock, masalama, see you tomorrow. Yeah, because that's only going to add on to your own stress. Changes to duties, as we previously mentioned, if there are certain things that were earlier part of your job profile, but maybe now somebody else has taken over who's expected to do it, you need to ensure that you are doing a proper knowledge transfer or helping that person. You cannot just say that this is not my scope of work anymore, because that's only going to add on more stress to you and to the other person. Job insecurity. Sometimes a lot of us sit down and we are usually dwelling either on the past or we play a negative film in our mind and we start thinking about all possible negative outcomes. So at certain point, people say, oh my God, if I make this mistake, I may lose my job. And then what happens if I lose my job? I won't have a visa. How do I live in Dubai? How do I survive? How do I take care of my family? So a lot of things we go into the negative thought loop. Sometimes people may be doing mundane work, lot of paperwork, lot of admin work, and maybe you don't have enough avenues to express your creativity, to do something different. And that time work becomes a little bit boring. And that's when you should rise up and go speak to your colleagues, speak to other team members to see if there is anything that you can do for value addition. Sometimes the managers may assign tasks where they expect you to do the task to perfection, right? So they will tell you every single instruction right to the T. But maybe you as a person, you want to try something different. So at that point, there becomes a slight conflict that could cause stress to everybody. Lack of proper resources. So again, let's say the sales department is working and they usually go and they do the presentations to the customers, right? However, if suddenly, let's say somebody from operations has to go and present to the client, will that be a little bit stressful? How would you react in this scenario? Anybody? I need some interaction, guys. Otherwise, I think everyone is sleeping with their eyes wide open. Exactly, yeah. So, but will that cause a little bit of stress?
Depends again.
Okay, depends on what?
Individual.
On the individual, absolutely, yeah. Then fewer growth opportunities. So sometimes, I think it's somebody's phone. Sometimes you are working in the organization, and for people who are very motivated and who are goal-seeking individuals, they always want to grow. So they are always thinking, what next? What next? I've delivered this project, what next? I've reached this level, what next, right? So in case if there are fewer growth opportunities, that could cause stress. Sometimes people may think that these people like me, some people don't like me, so they may play the reel of being discrimination in the workplace. That leads to stress again. Poor relationship with colleagues or with your bosses. If you don't have a good rapport, a good connection, a good bonding with your colleagues, that may lead to a little bit of stress. Any changes within the organization. So let's say today you're doing a certain process in A way and there are 8 steps to the process. Tomorrow, if the management decides that there is going to be a slight change and instead of 8 steps, we are going to do 4 extra steps to ensure that this entire process works well, it is important that it is communicated and everybody accepts it. Otherwise, it might cause stress. And being in the QHSE, the health, safety and environment field, there could be incidents where there are either accidents or maybe sometimes leading to the death of a person. So any questions in terms of what could be common workplace stressors or any comments? No? We are good so far? I need some interaction, guys. Either you are not understanding anything or it's too boring. So what is it? I need to know. Yes, anybody? It's okay, we continue, yeah? I hope at least you're understanding, at least nod your head. Okay, okay, that's better, that's better. Nobody's sleeping, yeah? Okay, so if it's usually just a one-off stress, it's okay, right? There is no problem, we can easily deal with it and sometimes even forget about it. But if stress occurs for a consistent or a long period of time, it could have detrimental effects on our health. So how each one of us perceives stress is very different, right? It depends on each individual, as you rightly said. Certain situations which may seem stressful to me may not be stressful to you, right? You may be well equipped to handle the situation. So it is up to each individual. What do we perceive as stress? How do we handle the stress? How do we cope up with the stress? How we react to the stress? Okay, so now we've spoken about what are the workplace stressors. Now let's look at how does stress manifest. So stress usually manifests over a long period of time and affects us physically, psychologically and mentally. So when we say physical symptoms, let's look at how does stress manifest. So over a period of time, if you are constantly going through stress, maybe for different reasons, you could feel lethargic or tired all the time. You seem to have absolutely no energy. You need to drag yourself to work. I can see a few people smiling, so I guess they can relate to it. Sometimes you may feel a little bit of muscular tension or pain in the body or pain in specific parts of the body. Yeah. Sometimes people could have been experiencing headaches or migraines. This is definitely due to long-term stress. Sometimes when you are in the stressful situation, you can feel sweating, your heart beating, we say, right? It's as if my heart is beating in my mouth, I don't know what to do. Yeah, so you could experience palpitations, sweating, nervousness, butterflies in your stomach. In case if there is stress over a long period of time, people may have difficulties in falling asleep easily. So at night, instead of actually sleeping, we are sitting with our phone, trying to scroll randomly. We have no agenda, we don't know what we are doing, but we are just doing that. And that is actually because of the blue light from the device, it's even more hampering your ability to sleep. So people could have insomnia. They could experience gut health problems such as either face diarrhea or have constipation over a long period of time. And then they could have different symptoms like allergies or rashes or other skin problems. Now what happens because of all this? We usually take self-pity, we go into the victim mode and we go to the doctor and we start consuming medicines, right? And then whenever we are sick, we want to tell ourselves, oh, you know what, I'm too overworked, I'm too tired, so I need a holiday. Yeah? So what happens in terms of the behavioral symptoms? So because of the different physical symptoms that we saw on the previous slide, obviously we tend to be absent from work, right? Now because of that, our productivity goes down, our performance goes down. Sometimes we may be in a very, very off mood. So even when some friends are meeting together, sitting together for coffee and they make fun of you, you may be extremely agitated and you may respond in a very bad way that is not expected. So you say, he was all right yesterday, what happened to him today? Why is he reacting like this? I always pull his leg. Because being in the negative zone of mind, you may not have your creative juices flowing, right? So there may be no creativity, you may not be taking any initiatives and something has to be forcefully given to you and then you say, oh, you know what, I don't want to do this. Why did they give this to me? So obviously all of this leads to directly drop in your work performance. Then at work, when you come in, there are days when you feel very energetic, you're very happy and whoever says whatever, you listen from here and it comes out. Yeah, Ohm's law we call it. But there are days when somebody passes a comment on you, you get very aggressive and you react in a very unexpected way. So what happens? Your relationships at work tend to get spoiled because the other person has now taken it to their heart and they say, okay, I joke with her every day. She never reacted till now. Today what happened? I don't know. So the person goes through different mood swings. One moment you are very happy, you're very positive. Next moment you're very sad, you're not talking to anyone, you just want to be left alone. Lower tolerance of frustration and impatience. If there are any specific things that you need to do and somebody comes and tells you about it, maybe they pass some comments, you are not open to listening to those comments. You just want to be left alone because you are in a negative state of mind. Disinterest or lack of focus. You're not able to concentrate on the task at hand, and that is very, very important. So you may have faced situations where typically if you were able to finish a task in 15 to 20 minutes, you actually end up taking 2 to 3 hours to finish the same task because you are distracted. Right? You are either checking your email, you're either checking your phone, or you're going and picking up a glass of coffee. So your focus is not there, you're not able to concentrate. And you want to be left alone because you're disinterested. You just don't understand what is happening here. You don't know how to process it. Any questions so far? Can anybody relate to this?
Yes.
Okay,
For
so
this, I think there will be no more holidays.
I hope so.
People
Yes.
will not fall sick,
Exactly,
and then people will
exactly.
not send me a message in the
Absolutely.
morning.
Yeah, so what are the psychological symptoms? They are already scared now. You're setting a high expectation. So what are the psychological symptoms? How does stress manifest? Yeah. So we could be, people could be going through depression without even understanding what is it, what is happening to me. I'm not able to focus. I feel very empty inside. There is no sense of fulfillment. Whatever I do, I'm not happy. I'm not able to concentrate. I don't have friends. Everybody else around me is partying. I don't know what is happening to me. Yeah. So they could have such feelings. They could feel anxious even for small things. Oh, I have to do this. What do I do? What do I do? And then they start playing those negative reels and scenes in their mind, imagining all possible negative outcomes. They may feel discouraged all the time. Nobody is supporting me. I don't know what to do. I am left all alone. So going into the victim mindset. They may be irritable, as we just discussed, right? Sometimes we tend to joke and we tend to talk between team members, but on a certain day, if you are off mood, you may tend to react in a very different way that is not expected from you. They may start playing negative attitude, which is absolutely pessimism, and they may have feelings of being overwhelmed. Oh my God, what do I do? Poor me. I have so many things. I have to meet work deadlines. I have a family to take care of. I have children to take care of. I have other things to look at. So they may have feelings of being overwhelmed and not able to cope because they just don't know what to do. The panic mode has been activated. And they may have cognitive difficulties such as reduced ability to concentrate and make appropriate decisions. How many of you agree that decision making is an important aspect in your work life or even in your personal life? Yeah? One wrong decision can lead to disasters. Absolutely. Yeah, so we spoke now about all the different workplace stressors and what are the different things that you can do. Let's also talk about other factors that can help you to alleviate stress if you focus on them on a daily basis. And this is something that has to be a consistent practice. Can you build six-pack abs by going to the gym for a week? Anybody? Yeah, so similarly, I think all of this, yeah, sorry, I missed that comment. Anwar can? Very good. Anwar, we need to have a separate conversation. So yeah, so these are certain things that you need to keep in mind on a consistent basis, yeah? So when we talk about stress, we as human beings, we are social organisms. We seek company, we seek emotions, right? So maybe there is a particular day when you had a bad fight or an argument at home and you come to office with the same bad mood. Is it okay to now remove your frustration and remove your anger on your colleagues? Are they aware what happened back home? Yeah, so if you are going to shout at them, yell at them, fight with them, what will happen? relationships will get spoiled, right? So, and in terms of work, we've already seen you could have tight deadlines, you could be overworked, there could be so many other things. Exercise. So, as per scientists' research, it has been proven that whoever is physically active, stress cannot stay in that body for a very long time, even if you want to. Yeah. So, as a result, it's very important to get some physical activity into your daily routine. It need not be just going to the gym. You could pick up something that you really enjoy. It could be yoga, it could be a Zumba class, it could be any other dance form, or it could be as simple as going to the park and just walking out for about 45 to 50 minutes. But it's very important to include it in your daily routine. What kind of food do we eat? Is the food nutritious? Is it filling us with positive energy, or are we eating junk food all the time? How many of you feel lethargic after lunchtime and you think, oh my God, I wish I could take a power nap? Anybody? Everyone. So, the other most important thing is we need to be mindful of what we eat and the quantity what we eat. When we overload our body with too much food, all the energy that is available is going into the digestive process, as a result leaving you feeling drained out, leaving you feeling lethargic. So, please be mindful of what you eat and try and avoid all the junk foods. Sleep. So, how many of you sleep, let's say, at before 10 p.m.? Okay. 10? Okay. That's early evening, yeah? ये क्या पूछ लिया? Yeah. 12? Okay. Anybody sleeping after 12? Okay. So what time do you get up the next morning? 5:30. So when you come into office, how do you feel? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So getting good quality sleep, getting enough sleep is absolutely important, and that is one of the most neglected areas in most people's lives today. It's not just about him. 9 out of 10 people that I talk to, they say I sleep anywhere between 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. and I wake up at 7:38. Now, is that good quality sleep are you getting? Is that enough sleep for your body? Because each person body type differs. Each person how much sleep they need differs. So it is very, very important. If you are drained, if you're not getting good quality sleep, you are going to feel lethargic. You are going to feel low on energy. You are going to feel drained. And you sometimes you are so irritable, you just want to hit the opposite person in front of you. Yeah? So it is very, very important. So it's a request. If you're sleeping at 12 a.m. today, tomorrow, try to push it 10 minutes ahead. I obviously cannot expect that all of you start sleeping at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. tomorrow from 12 or 1. But every day, small changes to your lifestyle. Push it 10 minutes ahead, 10 minutes ahead, 10 minutes ahead. And most important, 30 minutes before your sleep time, the devices should be put far away.
I think it's going the other way around.
It is, absolutely. Yeah, correct. And it's all building up, and most of them spend that time on the device, not realizing. Yeah.
It was actually 10 when people used to sleep.
Right.
So 10 minutes.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah, so we spoke about sleep. Health conditions. If you're suffering from any other health conditions, we just saw that stress is what actually leads to those health conditions, deterioration. But what happens is when you're suffering from something, that adds even more stress, right? So you're going into a vicious cycle. So try not to take so much stress so that you are physically, mentally healthy. Yeah? And anything else. So have you been ever in situations where a friend or a family member asks you for a favor, you don't really want to do it, but you don't know how to say no? Don't have a choice, yeah? Who decided that don't have a choice? Did that other person tell you you don't have a choice? Exactly. So who decided that not having a choice? It is also a choice that you are making. Yeah? So it is very, very important to have boundaries, self-boundaries. Learn to respect yourself. If something is going to challenge you, learn to say no. Yeah? And this is very specific to your relationships. Yeah? This is not at work. Otherwise, Mr. Shekhar will say, please don't come next time. Yeah? And Indulge in activities. So how many of us take time every day to relax, unwind and rejuvenate? We actually do activities. Oh, this is my hobby. I like to collect stamps. So I sit down, I Google, I look at different countries' stamps. So how many of us indulge in activities that re-energize us, that help us relax and unwind? Okay, may I know what do you do? Excellent. I hope that's not in front of the TV though. Okay, very good. Madam, what do you do?
I go out with my friends.
Very good, very good. Anybody else? Read books, very good. Anybody else? So all of you are either using Apple or Samsung, yeah, phones, yeah. Do you get software updates on the phone?
Yes.
Why do you hit that update button? You can just leave it as is, yeah. Why do you hit that update button?
Otherwise, it will slow down the device.
It will slow down the device. Anything else?
Security reasons.
Yeah. So when we are doing that for the device, why do we forget to do it for ourselves? Yeah. We also need that software update on a daily basis. So please schedule some time every day, maybe 30 minutes a day, to do activities that you really enjoy, that rejuvenate you, that help you relax, unwind and de-stress. Any questions so far?
A person who is actually suffering from all stuff, some of the mental problems,
Mm-hmm.
how do they actually, like they actually lose interest in various activities?
Correct.
How do you actually suggest on, how do they?
Coming to it in the next slide. Okay, so yeah. So we spoke about everything possible. Now let's come to the main point. Yeah, what do we do when we are faced with very stressful situation? If somebody has lost interest in doing everything, they don't know, they have lost focus. So let's say on a scale of 0 to 5, as 0 is none and 5 is very high, how many of you think that you are currently at a 5 on stress? Yeah, okay, another, yeah, please guys. Nobody is going to judge you. We are here to ensure that you come from a 5 to 0, if not anything else. So please, yeah? Okay. So can you tell me what are some common stresses for you, madam? Can you stand actually, because I can't see you? Is it okay? Yeah.
Common stresses can be like, okay,
All
can
work
be
related.
related to, sorry,
Work related.
work, family.
Okay. Okay. Can I interrupt you for a minute? Work related. Can you give me a specific example? Because when you say work, there is so much. No? Okay, she says no. Okay, family. Can you give me a specific example?
With family, see, I'm a person who was staying with family here,
Mhm.
and family has actually stayed back in, like now they're in India,
Okay.
and I'm staying away from them.
Okay.
So not being there, like when they are having some issues, so for me not to get stressed or something, they don't tell what's going in the house or
Correct.
something like that.
Got it.
So if somebody's sick, I get to know through somebody else. So I'm kindly worried about that situation, and work is also there. So that even disturbs the sleep too.
Right. Right.
At that point.
Right. So what do you do to handle this?
Basically,
Sorry?
no, actually, that was one question which I was going to ask.
Okay.
Because it disturbs the sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you come into work, some days it's like no productivity at all.
Correct. So what do you do today about it?
I'm still struggling with that.
Okay. Okay.
No answers to it yet.
Okay. So let's say somebody sick back home. Is that something that you can control sitting here?
No, definitely not.
You cannot, yeah?
Yeah.
So what is it that you can do in this situation? Just go back and rewind. When you were staying together, what would you normally do when you went back home?
So I was the one who used to.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said.
It's okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I used to arrange, like if it's a doctor's thing, I used to take
Mm-hmm.
them to the doctor.
Right.
Like those would be arranged.
Right.
Or basically run around, because mine is a single parent.
Mhm.
So, and I know for a fact my mom is alone too.
Mhm.
And there is nobody asking me to help around. So that is another level of pressure to on you.
Correct.
And she has never been dependent on anybody
Anybody else.
apart from your.
Mhm.
And I'm the single daughter too.
Right.
So that time it becomes, what I do is I either call up the people and tell this, just go to her place. She wouldn't ask for help. Just, take initiative or something like this.
Right, right. What else can you do? Can you control her falling sick?
No, definitely.
You cannot. What is it that you can control in this?
Maybe, like I go, I'm really blank. I'm really sorry.
If you are overthinking about this situation and you don't get sleep, is your health getting affected in some way? It is, yeah? Let's say for some reason this also continues for a period of time and you actually fall sick. What happens next? What happens next? Is your mother going to be very happy? I am also sick, my daughter is also sick? No, yeah, definitely not. Yeah. So what you need to do in this situation is, you need to stop, okay, first thing, because the panic mode gets activated, you need to stop and you need to analyze the situation. Is this something that is under my control? Can I control my family back home falling sick? No, I am not God. I cannot control that. Yeah. So what can I control? I can control how I respond to the situation. So first thing, I am the only child. I need to take care of my parent financially. So send money. Yeah. Help them out financially. Next thing, talk to them. I think we are all missing that human connection, basic common sense today. Yeah. Maybe she just wants to hear from you. That's all it is, maybe. Right? So what is it you can choose in this situation? How do you respond to the situation? You taking stress, you not sleeping, you feeling zero productive, you feeling lost is not going to help your mother recover from her health condition. What will actually help her is maybe if you constantly talk to her, motivate her, maybe tell her that why don't you come and be with me or whatever. That is what is going to help in this situation.
What I feel is when we try to put this in practical life, it's quite difficult.
Why is it difficult?
I guess the emotions are
No, it's all about priorities. It's all about
No.
priorities. First,
So-
you make sure that first you are comfortable. Then you can take care of somebody else. So that's why even in the airplanes you will see, first help yourself. Then help others.
Emotions. Completely agree. So we are going to, there is also a special slide on how to control and manage your own emotions, because that is what comes in between. Yes. Yes, yes.
When it is somebody who is very
Close to you,
if
yes.
it's your partner, if it's your kid,
True,
if it's
true,
your mother,
true.
father, then your emotions actually
Yes.
play a huge. Okay, it's different when it's your relatives
Correct,
or
correct.
your brother or your sister, but when it's your own parents and your kids or your partner, if you're actually having a very good rapport with them, then
Right.
if it's a toxic parent or a toxic partner, you're like, oh good, I'm happy, just go.
But that
That doesn't happen, by the way. Thank you. So a lot of people don't even understand what is a toxic parent or a toxic partner for the longest time, because of the way we have been brought up, because of our culture. Yeah, we don't know these things. So we will talk about, we'll come to emotions, but at this point what you need to understand is you need to be mindful. Is the situation in my control? Yes, no. COVID happened. Can I control COVID? Can I control the lockdown? It's beyond my control. It's beyond everybody's control. But can I choose how do I respond to COVID? Can I take care of myself? Can I stay indoors? Can I wear a mask? Can I avoid meeting people who have contracted COVID? These are the responses that I can choose. Yeah. So in this situation, that is what we need to do. So as we saw, the typical psychological response to a stressful situation is fight or flight mode, which is the panic mode. So what happens normally in panic mode? The body and the mind receive a signal that there is a danger and we start shallow breathing. Sometimes we freeze, we don't know. Oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? Yeah. So let's talk about 3 tools and techniques that we can use right from this moment to alleviate your stress. So first and the most important is practice mindfulness. A lot of time people sit back and they dwell on the past. Oh, yesterday I had this argument with my sister. I could have said this. I could have done that. I could have told her this. Yeah. Or this happened 20 years ago. But why did this happen? I'm still feeling bad about it. So a lot of people spend time dwelling on the past. as if it's happening right now and feel those emotions. A lot of people tend to think about the future and start playing all negative reels, all possible negative outcomes in their head. If this happens, if I lose my job, what will happen if I don't have a visa? How will I support my family? How will my kids go to school? If I fall sick, what happens? Yeah? So what is more important is being mindful. Be aware and tell yourself, focus on the current moment. If I am working on a deadline on a particular project, that needs my 100% attention. Everything else, tell your thoughts, I'm going to park you aside. And this comes only with consistent practice. It is very difficult because there are emotions involved there, but you need to start practicing it from this moment onwards. Any questions? Yeah, so first is be mindful of what is happening around you. Observe, is this situation something under my control? Can I control? Can I change it? If yes, well and good. Please go ahead and take action steps to control and change it. If not, what is in my control? So how do I respond to the situation? Because that is still in my control. Do I feel guilty? Do I feel sad? Do I feel frustrated? Do I feel anger? Do I feel sadness? And do I let that emotion now rule the rest of the day? Yeah? Now, next, be the boss of your own stress. So, I'm going to teach you a very simple technique that you can practice anytime, anywhere, at any point when you are in a stressful situation, and this will really help you. So, we are going to learn a technique called box breathing. How many of you know what's a box? Yeah? Yeah, what is the box? Is it curve? It's a square. Yeah, it's a square. So what we are going to learn today is, anytime you are in a stressful situation, you are going through a lot of stress, just stop and breathe into the count of 4. Can we all try now? So do you know how a box looks like? It's like this, yeah? If I were to hold a box, it's like this, this and this. It's a square. And that's the pattern we are going to follow for breathing. So we breathe in for 4 seconds, we hold for 4 seconds, we breathe out slowly for 4 seconds, we hold for 4 seconds. Can we all give that a try? Can you all get up for a minute? Okay, can we try the box breathing? And if for some people, if it feels very uncomfortable, don't go on for 4. That's fine because it will come with practice. Yeah, so can we start breathing in? I'm going to be counting. So breathe into the count of 4. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out to the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. If it helps, you can close your eyes, whatever is comfortable. And if you think 4 seconds is too much for you, if you feel like something bad is happening to you, you can start with 2 seconds. That's fine. Can we do it few more times? Yeah? 1. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Let's breathe in to the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Anybody still feeling agitated? Feeling frustrated? How much ever you try, you cannot feel a negative feeling after doing this exercise. And can you do it anywhere? Did it take us less than 2 minutes to do it 3 times? Yeah? Can you do it anywhere, anytime you are in stress? Yeah? So this is the second tool. Yeah? Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay, and once you do this, you will already find that you kind of feel calm and centered. Even if you want to now, you cannot be negative anymore after this exercise. Yeah, so use that inner calm and inner center to find guidance and to help you think clearly, what do I do next in stressful situations? Any questions? We are good? Okay. Are there people where sometimes, if let's say the deadline is tomorrow, yeah, which is, tomorrow is a wrong example, but let's say the deadline is on Friday and you start doing a lot of hard work and putting in too much of efforts on Thursday. How many of us? I think everybody. No, there is nobody who does, okay, my deadline is Friday, let me finish it on Monday. There is nobody in that category? Okay. So yeah, so sometimes people are positively motivated by stress. When you know that you have to deliver something on Friday, you put in and concentrate all your efforts on Thursday and you try to deliver the best. So not all stress is always bad. Yeah, so understand, because it's each individual to individual how you are motivated. Are you positively motivated by that deadline or are you negatively motivated by that deadline? I am not the category who will do the work on Thursday. I am a category who likes to be prepared well in advance. I will run it through 5-6 times, so I will be ready on Tuesday maximum if I have to deliver on Friday. Yeah, so note that not all stress is bad. So we spoke about being mindful. We spoke about box breathing technique. Now let's also do another very, very common Indian technique, which is called a mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation is one of the very powerful relaxation techniques, and if you do that, I can write it down for you anywhere, come what may, you cannot go into a negative state of mind. You cannot feel the stress. You will suddenly start thinking, is something wrong with me? This situation used to stress me before, but now I don't feel anything. I think I'm more than ready to handle it. Yeah? So can we do the meditation? Can you play the YouTube? Is everyone comfortably seated? Can you spread out a little because you are almost onto each other? Can you just spread out a little bit so that you're comfortable and you can just relax a little? Yeah, are you guys comfortable there or is it too crowded? Okay. We will do a short 5 to 7 minute mindfulness meditation. And again, meditation is something you need not wait for it for a stressful situation to occur. Right? Have you heard that prevention is better than cure? How many of you believe in that? Yeah?
We are all safety guys.
Yeah, exactly, right? So all the more important because all of you are working in the field of safety, yeah? So try and do a 5 to 10 minute meditation starting today. Do not wait for that stressful situation to occur and then I will think what do I need to do next. Yeah, so let's get into that. And meditation again is something, especially the one that we are doing now, you can do it anytime, anywhere, whenever you are faced with a stressful situation. Don't worry, oh, what she will think about me, what he will think about me. Just say, give me 5 minutes, I will be back. Put yourself into that calm, peaceful state of mind and come back and you will be able to clearly focus and take the right decisions. Should I play it from here?
No.
Okay. Is there an extra chair that I can use? No, you will have to sit for the meditation. Don't give me yours. Or tell me where it is, I'll bring it.
Yeah, everyone has gone.
I can play it if you want from here. Okay, okay. He's just passing comments, yeah? See how calmly he's responding. He's not reacting. Is that him?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Is that true, by the way? Are you the least stressed person in this office? That is what most people happen to think. Can I request you for a small thing? My phone is in Mr. Shekhar's office. When everybody's meditating, can you just do a small video for me on my phone?
Sure.
Should I get it? Thank you.
I think everybody can keep their mobiles in.
Yeah, please. Request all of you to put your mobiles on silent mode and keep it away, not in your pockets, because if it vibrates, you will get disturbed. So keep it away. It's only going to take 5 minutes, and I'm sure in the next 5 minutes there is going to be absolutely no emergency. I promise you that. Already started. Hello, how are you? It's okay. We don't need the video. Yeah, we don't need the video. Forget it. It's okay. नहीं चाहिए क्योंकि आप कुछ चेंज करोगे फिर स्लाइड्स नहीं आएगा तो आप छोड़ दो वीडियो नहीं चाहिए Okay, so everyone is ready. All of us are comfortably seated. Can I request you to put your mobiles on silent and put it away on the desk, not in your pockets? Okay. Can you sit comfortably on the chair wherever you are such that your spine is tall and erect? And take a deep breath in. Yeah? So let's start today's mindfulness meditation session by finding a comfortable position. Sit with your back tall and straight. Allow your arms to be gently placed on your thighs. Don't cross them because energy gets short-circuited. Let it flow freely. So allow your arms to rest gently on your thighs, and whenever you're ready, close your eyes. Bring full attention to this very moment. Focus on your breath. Notice how the breath is flowing in and flowing out. That's right. Settling in comfortably, keeping your spine nice and erect. Allow the mind and body to become still. Tell all your thoughts, I'm going to park you away for the next 5 minutes. Any distractions or any sounds in the atmosphere, my voice is only going to help you focus more on your mind and on your body. Now, with openness, patience, and curiosity, bring your awareness to your breath. Feel that hot air, oxygen, going in through your nostrils. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Letting all the stress just melt away. Take another deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Releasing it out fully. Follow the breath as it flows in and out of your body. Another deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more time. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. That's right. You're doing wonderful. Before letting the breath settle, allowing it to feel natural and easy, Don't try to force the breath or regulate it in any way. Let it just follow the natural rhythm. Just allow it to flow naturally at its own pace. Now slowly we will scan down your body, concentrating our attention from one part of the body to another. Start by bringing all your attention to the top of your head and scalp. Feel whatever is happening in this area. You might feel a slight tingling sensation or heat, throbbing, or soft vibrations on your scalp. There may be a strong sensation, or you might not feel much anything at this point. Whatever you feel is just right. Now slowly lower your attention to your forehead, to your face. Focus on your jaws. Allow the muscles here to completely relax. Let go of all the tension. That's right. Focus on your next out breath, feeling that sensation dissolve all the stress. Lower your focus to the neck, letting the throat and the sides and the back of your neck soften. Yes, just let it go. Drop your shoulders down. Notice any sensation that arises on the surface of your skin or deeper within. Now bring your attention to your shoulders, noticing if there's any tension or stress or strain. This is the area where we tend to store a lot of tension. Breathe into your shoulders as if you're taking in all the oxygen is rushing into this area. And if any part feels tight, just allow it to relax. Completely let go. That's right. And on the next out breath, allow them to soften. Focus on the chest area, observing the rise and fall with each breath. Notice how the lungs expand and contract. Direct your attention to your upper and your lower back. There may be little bit of intensity, especially in this area, which is another area where we commonly hold on to stress. If you notice any tension or warmth or discomfort in your back, just observe what's there. With each breath that you take in, soften a little bit more. The oxygen is energizing that area, giving you more positivity, relaxing into stillness, into calmness. Now scan your legs, observe your thighs, notice where they make contact with the chair. Lowering your attention to your knees. Is there any pain? Is there any discomfort? Breathe in oxygen into this part of the body. Focus on your calves. Let your legs just soften and relax. Maybe you feel a tingling sensation or some warmth. That's right. When you are ready, breathe into your ankles, your feet and toes. Let them just relax and become soft, sinking into a state of complete relaxation and awareness. Take a moment to notice how calm and centered and completely relaxed you feel. You may find that you are more relaxed, as this is most likely the outcome of any meditation. This is one of the reasons why it's very helpful to meditate during the times of stress. When we are experiencing stress, our mind fires up and it's difficult to make thoughtful decisions. So, if we find our mind clouded due to overwhelm or anxiety, we can use meditation as a tool to calm the mind down. Send a signal to the body and mind saying everything is safe, everything is secure. And now, opening the awareness to include the entire body again as you are sitting, focusing on your breathing. If you could Like, imagine the breath moving all the way from the crown of your head down into your toes and up and out again. Notice all the small sensations in the body. Allow them to just be as they are in this moment. You can keep your focus on your body or on your breath, whatever feels lighter to you. Whenever you're ready, gently allow some movement back into the body. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe take a slight stretch in a way that feels good to the body. Noticing any sounds in your environment, bringing your awareness back to where you are. And in your own time, slowly opening your eyes whenever you're ready. Perhaps readjusting your position, taking a moment to reflect on your experience in this new moment. Take a moment to notice what sensations are you feeling in your body right now. Observe what thoughts are going on through your mind. Check in with the emotions of this moment. And if you like, you could repeat a positive or a calming phrase to yourself 3 times. Put your hand on your heart and say, I am aware and relaxed. I am aware and relaxed. I am aware and relaxed. I feel completely grounded and ready. I feel completely grounded and ready. I can't hear, guys. I feel completely grounded and ready. I feel completely grounded and ready. I feel completely grounded and ready. You can slowly open your eyes and check, how do you feel right now? You can stop the music. How do you feel right now?
Many of them slept at
I could hear some snoring sounds. So how do you feel right now? Any comments? Any comments? Any thoughts? Anything is disturbing? Something maybe? What happened? Sometime back you were saying, I'm having a lot of stress. What happened? Did anybody wave a magic wand? Where are all those thoughts that were troubling you? Where are all the emotions that were troubling you? You have something to say? You can share with all of us. How do you feel right now? You said you had a very high stress. How do you feel after the mindfulness meditation? Better? Where are those thoughts? What happened? Has anything changed outside?
No, actually, at that moment it was fine. But then after that,
After that, what?
again it came back.
Where is it? Can you scan? Can you scan? Where is it?
The first thought that came was the delivery that I had to do today. Sorry, but that's the first thing that happened.
Okay. Are you prepared for that?
Yeah.
So then, is there any stress attached to it?
Not much, but yeah, still.
Okay, you're prepared, right? You know how to tackle it.
Yes, it's time-bound stress.
So what we don't understand is we are not able to identify what is an actual stressor. See, at any given point of time, I could be having a million thoughts coming to me. I have to go home, I have to buy grocery, I have guests for lunch, I have to take my children to school, I have to take them swimming, I have to go do this, I have to do that, right? Are these real stressors, right? I know 99% of the things how to do them. And if I'm able to prioritize and schedule them appropriately, where is the stress? Where is the stress?
I guess it's a slow process where, because I'm a person who overthinks.
Mhm.
Like, I always think of the all possible outcomes that I can get from one single problem.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that problem might not be a huge problem
Exactly.
for another person. It
Correct.
might be for me.
Correct.
But I take the whole possible outcomes that can come from it. So I'm prepared ahead of what is going to happen.
Agreed.
If it is like, okay, this is not going to work, so I have a plan B.
Okay.
So, but
Can I interrupt you and ask you a simple question? So, is there a particular situation where I can use an example, like when you're thinking about all possible outcomes? Can you give me a specific example?
What happened was back at home, my construction of the house was going on. So there was all like, and it was at the time of COVID. So, like all that irregularities of, the market being shut, you have to get the raw materials
Correct.
at the time of that. So it was an option A, plan B, plan 2, plan C, and I had all the options. Like if this happens, I have another backup. But I had to think through the whole thing.
Right.
So that was it. But,
Right.
But I had the options, so it was, at the time when that problem came, I had the solution for it.
Agreed. So a very important learning in this particular point, right, that you've got up. Now, COVID is something that happened to everyone. It just didn't happen to you or to me or to Mr. Shaheen or to her, right? Everyone was affected. Either somebody contracted COVID, so they had physical stress and they were unwell for a long period of time. Either they were affected financially. A lot of people lost jobs, right? A lot of people suffered mentally. Their health was under questioning. They didn't know how to react, right? So again, COVID is something which is a very high level stress, I would say. But remember, that is not under your direct control. Okay? But for smaller situations, what I would recommend is, instead of playing all possible negative outcomes in your mind, can you take 2 minutes, stop, become mindful, and why can't you think of a possible outcome from that situation? Is it difficult? Does it always happen? Not always, right? But can we practice it by putting in conscious effort, right? I think that would help all of us to move out of the pest. Absolutely. It comes with consistency. It comes over a period of time with constant repetition, right? Suddenly I cannot get up one day and from a completely pessimistic person, I cannot become a completely optimistic person, right? But instead of playing all possible negative outcomes and reels in my mind saying, oh, if this happens, this will happen. If this happens, let's focus consciously, make an effort to think of the possible outcome. Have faith and belief instead of doubting that outcome. And that is what we all need to practice consciously. So thank you for bringing that point out. Coming back, we may have multiple thoughts at any point of time. What we need to sit down and analyze is it really a stress for me? It's okay to have 200,000 thoughts, right? Is it really stressing me out? No, I'm prepared. I know how to do most of the things. And for things that I don't know, there are people around me to help. Just ask for help. It's as simple as that. Any other questions? How are you feeling after the meditation? Try to think of some stressful situation.
So, but actually, when you are meditating and if you're getting all those thoughts, so at that point of time, the best thing to do is put a smile to your face and make sure you can easily make sure that those thoughts will just disappear.
Absolutely.
Just
Absolutely.
put a smile to your face
Right.
and then meditate.
So there is no
Those thoughts
right.
will not get it in your mind at all.
Absolutely. So there is no right or wrong way for meditation, because all we are trying to do is we are coming back to our center to feel calm so that we are able to do a focused decision making process, right? So just be aware of it and come back to the situation and think, what can I do to salvage the situation? That is all what we need to do. Any other comments, questions, thoughts before we move on? How do you feel? Anybody still feels that we are at a 5 on stress? I thought you said me. Anybody? 5? Anybody at a 4? 3? Huh? 3? What is troubling you?
It's like normal people more than 8.
Sorry, say that again.
I think it's normal. It's most of the people more.
Why should it be normal? That's the question. Why should it be normal?
We're in fast-paced world now.
Okay, so who said that you have to take stress?
This just came from my mom.
Because it's running in your mind, right? So guys, it is absolutely not normal. We have made it a norm. We think that having moderate amount of stress is cool. Looking busy, looking stressful is very nice. People will think, oh, she's doing so well, she's busy all the time, she's stressed all the time. That is not the norm. So we have to change that thought process, and that will only happen when you put conscious effort. What is bothering you, ma'am, if I may ask? Anything in particular? Nothing? Then how can you say that you're at a 3?
That was I thinking.
Okay.
People is like more than
Okay.
normal.
Okay. So if I were to ask you now, consciously, where are you in terms of stress?
No, I recently came back from vacation, so
Okay.
I don't have stress.
Excellent. So are you at a 0 or a 1?
Zero.
Excellent.
I came from vacation, so
Very good. Anybody else at a 3? May I know what's running in your mind, if you don't mind sharing?
The thing is, this is my concept. Okay. This 3 or 4 minutes breathing technique will not be 100% success for me.
May I know why?
Because I have having multiple moderate stress.
Okay. Can I ask for an example, a specific example?
It doesn't mean that what my mother is sick or my father is sick. That is also stress, but little small things is also stress.
Can I have an example? Anything that comes to your mind. See, there's no right or wrong, right? Because it's each person's conception, right? What may be stress for me may not be stress for you.
Currently, I have multiple works to do after the session,
Okay?
and back home I have so many works.
Okay.
I need to go to grocery for shopping,
Okay.
and I need to take care of my child
Okay.
and some other personal things.
Okay. Okay. Out of whatever you listed right now, is there anything that you've not done before? Everything you've done before. It's not something new to you. Yeah? Do you know how to tackle it?
Yes.
Have you scheduled it in your day's plan?
No.
Okay? Why?
Because we can't, if I am scheduling for tomorrow, it
Mhm.
will not be like every day we can't able to schedule because time and that situation will change.
Okay. What will change? Like when you say time and situation will change, again, can you give me a specific
An
example?
unpredictable situation may
Okay.
happen.
Does that happen on a daily basis?
Maybe, most of the time.
Okay. What happens? What is unpredictable?
I can't able to explain that exact unpredictable situation.
Okay.
But I know each and every individual who is sitting here
Mhm.
in this room face the same thing.
Okay.
I think so. Yes.
See, I
Okay.
think maybe, the small, tiny stresses, like, the grocery, the family, all that can build up to a
Traffic.
moderate. Like,
Traffic, yeah.
yeah,
Of course.
it's all the traffic,
Mhm.
like, way going back home, you're getting very little time with the family, you just have a day off, how are you going to manage the whole thing? You need a breather, and what are you going to do about it? How do you, like, manage family parties or friends or,
Okay.
Office,
And especially-
everything, when all the small bits are, maybe it's a big stress.
And especially taking care of a small kid,
Mhm.
we can't able to predict their emotional this thing. Today she or he might be happy.
Mhm.
Tomorrow, 2 years or 3 years, that will not be happy. We need to take care and we need to take extra effort, extra time, and extra stress for that.
Okay. Who told you that only if you take stress it will all work?
It's not stress. It's our adrenaline. For example, after 5 minutes, I'm not thinking that my adrenaline level will be shoot up after 2 minutes. So currently, my adrenaline level is shooting up.
Why?
I
Because
don't
you're
know,
standing.
my
Sit down.
body is
Sit
like
down.
that only.
Sit and talk. Okay. Are you feeling better now? Are you feeling better? Good. Talk. No need to stand. Okay. Yeah. So that's the question, right? What was the first thing that we learned?
Relax.
What was the first thing that we learned? There were 3 tools and techniques that we learned. Yeah? Mindfulness. It will come only with practice and consistency. Yeah? Doing just 3 or 4 minutes of meditation, we cannot control everything around us. But being mindful is what is the first step.
Her stress level is moderate.
Right? And that's why it is up to each individual how mindful you are. Yeah, all the small examples, all the small stresses like going for grocery, taking care of the kid, doing multiple errands, right? All of this is not new to you. You already know how to do it because you've done it in the past. So do you really need to take stress for that?
I think it's more worrying than stress.
So it's about identifying what is an actual stressor and what are just my thoughts, and planning and prioritizing for it. That is what needs to happen. So can we quickly recollect what are the 3 tools that we learned? Meditation. Yeah. So who all promised to practice all these 3 starting today? Nobody, yeah? Mr. Chai. What's the point of learning if we don't practice? Because not doing is equal to not knowing for me.
We'll try.
Yeah? Yeah, so please put extra conscious efforts, try to be mindful, try to implement box breathing, and try to do meditation on a daily basis. And recognize what is a real stress, what is just a worry, what is something that I've already done in the past, what is something that is out of my comfort zone. Any questions?
Can you like tell what was your, like from your personal experience, about the stress and how, like the most stressed you were and how did you actually manage?
How did I actually manage? So I thought I'll talk about it later, but since you asked the question now, I'll talk about it now. So when COVID happened, I was running a different business. Okay, my business was such that it involved a lot of risks and it involved a huge financial planning, and nobody expected, right? I didn't play out all the possible negative outcomes in my head that COVID may happen, so I need to have a big bank balance for COVID to come. So when it happened in 2020, I went through a severe depression. I tried to kill myself 3 times. It is not easy to stand in the front of room full of people and admit, right? Because I may start thinking, oh my God, what will these people think about me? But it requires a lot of courage. So during entire 2020, I had put on 22 kilos of weight. I was not sleeping. I was not talking to anyone. I didn't know where my children are. I didn't know where my phone is. I was just inside my room. Yeah. Now slowly what happened is my husband, thank God for him, he came to my rescue and he said, why don't you go and learn something? And we were all under lockdown, mid 2020. So I joined the NLP course just to change my state of mind. Now, where it all happens is you need to be first consciously aware of what is happening to you. Once you are aware, then you are in a position to take actions to come out of that situation.
Sorry to interrupt, but how did you regulate that you were going through a depression stage? Did you actually
Is it- is it-
something on you like that?
Is it normal not to talk to anybody, be isolated, sit inside a room, pile on 22 kilos of weight? Is it normal? Do I need a third party validation to tell me that I'm going through a bad phase of my life? Right? But again, it depends on the intensity level. Not everybody's intensity would probably be the same as me. It depends from individual to individual where they want to go and maybe get a validation from another person to say, you are going through this. These days, it's very easy to give labels, right? Something happens, we instantly have a name for it. Yeah, it's good to be aware of what is happening, but what are we actually doing to take care of it? Stress is happening to me, but how do I alleviate the stress? Just me by standing here or sitting here, hand on my hand, is something going to change outside? No, right? So we need to take actions. So we'll also talk a little bit about that in the later slides. Oh, I have to do it, yeah. Any other questions, comments? Yeah.
How to handle stressed people?
Isn't it home or a daughter's? Home stress people or looks like you your husband's.
So no, seriously, was that a question or was that just a comment? Okay. Can you give me an example? Can I request you to stand? Can you give me an example?
In stress, I'm just maintaining my, I'm living my stress level. But the other person, they are not like they are also stressed, and also like see when we are working with each other, so both people are like stressed and also like everything.
Correct.
So like I'm been now in normal stage, and that person I need to work with them, and they are still in stress, and how to overcome that person also to get the work done.
What can you do in this situation?
So it should like working together. So that person also should come to my level and also need to coordinate with each other.
Right.
That,
Can you control how much stress the other person is going through? Can you tell them how to feel about it? Can you help them, or can you make it worse?
no, not us.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Right? So that's a good one. So if it is not in your control, what is it that you can do? What is in my control? Is it in my control? No. So what is the next thing that I can do? How do I respond to them? Can I be a little bit more understanding and compassionate that maybe that person, my colleague or my whoever at home, my relative or my friend is going through stress? Can I be a little bit more understanding towards them? Can I show a little bit empathy towards them? Can I tone down a little? Can I calm down a little so that seeing me they also calm down a little? Or can I also go and say, you did this, you did that, and because of that all this is happening? Yeah, so if we cannot control the situation, if it is out of our control, the only thing that we can choose is how do we respond to that situation. Yeah? Does that answer your question? You don't seem to be happy with it.
He has to live with it. So.
Any other questions? Any other comments? Yeah? Yes, you have a comment? Share, no? Sorry? That's very good. You should spread that, to everyone. You should meet more people and spread it to everyone. No stress. They said no stress. Can you close this part? Okay, so can we move on? Any questions, any thoughts, comments, please. I want it to be as interactive as possible. Only then it will be fun and it will register. Otherwise, I can come or many people can come and talk and then nothing changes, yeah? If we don't implement. Any questions? We are good? Shall we move on?
Yes.
Okay, so now somebody here spoke about emotions earlier. Yeah, so usually when we are in stressful situations, right, we are in a vulnerable state of mind. We tend to be very, very emotional and we take everything that is said to us very personally. We sometimes don't know what is the range of emotions that we are going through and we don't know how to handle it. So what do we do in such cases, right? So when it comes to emotions at work, there could be certain days when you come in with a lot of positivity, you've slept well, you're full of energy, you're giving high five to everybody, you're saying, hey, good morning, how are you? How's your day? It's very happy and jolly and bubbly. And then there are certain days when you come in with a lot of dull energy, you're feeling very, very low on energy, or maybe you're sick, maybe you're having a headache, right? So when the people experience positive emotions, it creates happy, conducive and bright working spaces. Whereas when people face negative emotions, they bring with them a dark atmosphere. Imagine a day when everybody is low on energy, nobody is talking to each other. We are all just looking at our laptops and we don't know what to do. How would it feel that day? Can you cover this part? How would you feel that day? Sorry? Lonely. Any other emotions? No interest. Any other emotions? Any other emotions? Sad. Anything else? Angry. No patience. Yeah, so basically emotions can change in a matter of seconds, right? 1 minute you are very happy, next minute you got an email that you were not expecting, and suddenly your mood is off. Yeah, so again, let's just imagine a situation. It's 6 p.m. on a Thursday evening. Okay, you're just finished wrapping up your work, you're excited, oh, day is over, I can go back home, relax and enjoy. So you're in that mood while you're typing an email to be sent to a client or maybe a colleague, and suddenly someone calls you from the back and you didn't know that they were going to call you. So the coffee that you were having, you spilt it on your PC or your laptop. Yeah, so suddenly that joyful mood has now changed. Now you are into a stressful situation, yeah, because you spilt the coffee on the laptop. Then your colleague who came to call you tells you there's an urgent meeting, can you drop everything and come into the meeting? And you yell at the colleague, can't you see, I just dropped coffee, can you give me 5 minutes? Yeah, so did you see when I became agitated, maybe my face color changed, maybe my body language changed and I became more kind of defensive, right? And I started yelling. I also didn't realize, but I was actually yelling, right? So what happened? In a matter of seconds, the entire emotions change, right? So how do we handle this? What do we do about this? Have you ever faced such situations at work? Yeah, is it very common? So what do you do to manage your emotions in such situations? How do you salvage the situation?
Stop for a while, then think.
Stop for a while. Excellent. Anything else? Sorry, I missed that. Okay. Anything else? So it is very important, first thing, to be aware. Mindfulness. How am I feeling today? Have I come into the office feeling funny, feeling happy, feeling frustrated, feeling suspicious? I've just had a fight at home with my husband and he's ruined my mood today. Am I going to come to office and do the same thing to my colleagues, to my clients? Yeah, so it's very important to be mindful, to be self-aware, because that is where everything starts. Yeah. So let's talk about a little bit about emotional intelligence, how to manage our emotions. Yeah. So to understand that, we need to go back and first understand a little bit about EQ and IQ. Who has heard these terms, EQ and IQ? What's IQ? Intellectual quotient. What else? What do you know about it? Any thoughts about IQ? Anybody? That side is very quiet. Looks like they are not enjoying.
Having high IQ.
Sorry? Estimation? Good, good. I think they're the right people, yeah, to answer. So any thoughts on what is IQ and why is it important? So have you seen someone who comes up with very unique creative solutions to very complex problem and you thought, oh, he seems to be a genius, she seems to be very good at it, right? What happened? Why does it work for them and why doesn't it work for you? Sorry? Critical thinking, very good. Thank you. So what is intelligence quotient? Is a level of person's intelligence or how do they do their critical and analytical thinking. It's usually measured in a number, yeah. So it's very small here. So there are different tests, psychometric tests that people take to measure their intelligence quotient or their level of analytical and critical thinking. This usually peaks at around 20 years of age and starts to decline later in life. Yeah, person with high IQ are usually able to assess their logical reasoning. They are the ones who are able to take initiatives, think differently, think creatively, think out of the box. And people with high IQ, they usually focus on all the facts, they do critical thinking, they research a lot, and they are able to omit all the irrelevant information, focus only on what is necessary. Any questions? Now, have you come across people where you try to explain a certain concept or a certain process to someone, but they just don't get it, no matter how hard you try to simplify it? And maybe back in your mind you think, I think she's dumb, I think she has a very low IQ. Have you had such situations? I can see a few people smiling. Yeah? So what is good? Is it good to have a good IQ or a low IQ? What is good?
Moderate.
What is moderate?
Not too good, because if it is high in intelligence, I feel like they go out to emotional.
Okay, okay.
Empathy would be necessary.
Very good.
For everything, they need a logical reason.
Very good. You've gotten an excellent and a very valid point. So most people think that people who have a high intelligence quotient, they lack in their emotional quotient. Yeah? But lot of times that is not true. And a right mix of EQ and IQ is required. Yeah? So let's see why is it important. So there are different psychometric tests that are available in the market. There are some specifically designed for adults. There are some designed for children. So whoever is interested in finding out your IQs, you can go and take the psychometry tests online. There are a few people with a score of 160 plus. Some of them is Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, and Elon Musk's and the likes. Who is Anwar? Is your IQ 160 plus? Okay. Coming to emotional quotient. So what do you understand by emotional quotient? Empathize, very good. What does empathy mean?
Thinking from other shoes.
Absolutely. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Think from their perspective without having any judgment. Yeah? So usually EQ involves understanding, managing, using and perceiving your own emotions first, and then being aware of the emotions of the people around you. How many of us are aware of that? How many of us practice it consciously? I walk into the office, I can see that the person who's sitting next to me seems to be a little irritated or agitated or angry, but I go and crack a joke on her. Is that a good practice? So how many of us are aware? How many of us pay attention to our environment or to the people around us? Most of the people? That's very good. Right? Have you seen people getting emotional? There are people who go to watch movies and then they are sitting there crying for 3 hours non-stop and the tissue box is over. Does that mean the person has high EQ? No, absolutely not. Yeah, being emotional is one thing and having a high EQ is completely different. Yeah. So what is EQ basically? It is to be first self-aware of yourself. What emotions, what feelings am I feeling right now? What emotions and feelings are my colleagues or my family members or my friends who I spend time with, they are feeling right now, and addressing them. Sorry? And managing them. Absolutely, absolutely. So EQ is something that peaks around 40 years of age and it does not usually decline unless something happens to your brain. It is basically to assess, understand and manage your own emotions and other people's emotions. And people who have high EQ are usually good team players because they have the ability, they are able to relate to other person, connect to the other person better, and they display empathy. Putting yourself in the other person's shoe, which is a people skill. Any questions? So usually people with high EQ, they are able to follow through their own commitments. They usually take initiatives. They are very good team players and they ensure that everyone works together as a team. Yeah, so let's take an example. There is a training manager, let's call her Stella, and there is a customer service executive, let's call her Alice. Yeah, so Stella has been given the assignment of introducing a new process which she has to train Alice on. Yeah, so Stella spends about 3.5 hours training Alice for a certain process. After 3.5 hours, Alice comes and asks Stella, I don't understand what we are doing. Yeah, so Stella first of all thinks in her mind, I just spent 3.5 hours training her, but she doesn't understand. So in spite of that feeling a little bit of irritation, she explains everything again to Stella, but in a slightly different tone this time. Now Stella again says, okay, I understood what I'm supposed to do, but I don't understand why should we do it this way and how does it impact the end customer. So now the training manager, she gets very agitated, Stella, and she says, you know what, just forget everything. Yeah, you just understand that this has to be done in this way. At this point, Alice gets very, very frustrated. She feels let down and she starts playing in her head. Oh my God, am I useless? Am I so dumb that I don't understand what is she saying? What does Stella think about me? What will my colleagues think about me? And she starts playing all those negative possible outcomes in her mind. Is this a good situation to be in? Have you ever had such situations? What did you do during such times? Anybody? You just said you had such situations. So what did you do during such times? Evaluate? Okay, very good. What else? Are you Stella or are you Alice in this picture? You are Alice. So what could you have done better in this situation? Okay. Okay. To make it happen. Anybody, what could have Stella done better in this situation?
Maybe using another technique to make the other person understand.
Absolutely.
Getting down to that person's
Absolutely. Correct. Yeah, so she was basically lacking empathy in this case. She was oblivious to what Alice was feeling at that point of time. She just wanted to get her work done and move on. Yeah, we will come back to the situation in a few slides later to see what happened. So usually for the success of any workplace, employers prefer to hire people with higher EQ rather than people who are just smart and intelligent and have high IQs. And we just saw why is it equally important. Yeah. People who have an equal balance of EQ and IQ, they are able to understand the customer's needs, emotions and understandings better. As a result, the sales is better and they enhance high productivity of the team. They have better connection, they build good rapport with their colleagues, with their family members, with their friends, so they display better interpersonal skills. They have better adaptability to any change in the situation. They are the first ones to adapt anything that is new and also help people around them, so they work well as a team player. Any questions? We are good so far?
Yes.
Okay, so moving on. So one of the keys to a healthy company culture is having the right mix of EQ and IQ, as we just saw. Yeah, coming back, even if one part is missing, if we only have people who are very intelligent, but they are oblivious, they are not aware of other people's emotions, will we have a good performing team? No. On the other hand, if we only have people who are good at EQ, but they are not able to think creatively, will we have a good performing team that stands out, that delivers creative solutions, unique solutions to complex problems? No. So it's equally important to have both in place, EQ and IQ, a proper mix of both of them. It results in increased productivity of the team. It improves decision making because you're able to focus on the problem and think of the right solution. As a result of that, it lowers the occupational stress, and once stress is low means your well-being is automatically better. Yeah? It also helps in increased leadership ability and reduces staff turnover. Any questions? So how can we all work on the emotional intelligence, have the right balance of EQ and IQ? Yeah. So when we talk about emotional intelligence, there are 4 main domains that we can work upon to improve our emotional intelligence. First one is being self-aware. Next is managing your own self. The third one is being socially aware, what's happening around me. And the last one is building those relationships and managing them. So let's talk a little bit about being self-aware. Yeah. So earlier we saw there are days when we come into the office with a lot of negative energy, we are feeling very low, maybe we are having a headache, right? So broadly, all your emotions can be classified into these emotions. Basically, these 8 discrete emotions. It could either be happy, sadness, anger, frustration, fear, desire, happiness, or relaxation. Yeah. So the first step is asking yourself, how am I feeling today? And in case if you are aware, if you realize that I'm not in the right state of mind, then taking steps to move into a positive state of mind. So first step is being self-aware. So people who are self-aware, they know their own strengths and their weaknesses. Yeah, do we all know what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses? And do we know how to use those to our effective working, to get good performance, to get good productivity? Are we aware of that? How to put our strengths and our weaknesses to use? Yeah, we are aware? Excellent. So basically recognize, control and deal with basic emotions. How often do you feel these emotions at work? Almost every day. Yeah, almost all the time. Let's say we are in one of the boxes almost all the time. We are natural living beings. It is natural to feel these emotions. Yeah. So have you noticed that sometimes when you are having a conversation and you're angry, suddenly the color of your face changes? Yeah. Sometimes when you're having a discussion with team members and if you don't agree to someone else's ideas or opinions, you suddenly tend to cross your hands because that indicates that I am not open to negotiation on this. Yeah. So basically emotions manifest in terms of facial expressions and our body language. So it is very important to be aware of your own expressions, of your own body language, and that comes only with practice. Because when you are in the heat of the moment, you don't realize that you did that. So that takes, it's like a muscle that you need to develop. Put in some conscious effort, become aware. How am I right now? Am I agitated? Am I yelling at somebody? Am I angry? Or am I dealing with a calm mind? So that's the first step, being self-aware. So what you can do, how can you improve it? At the end of every day, take just 5 minutes and reflect on some of these questions. How do I perceive myself? Was I happy today? Was I sad today? Was I agitated today? How did others around perceive me? Did I put up a good face in spite of feeling whatever I'm feeling inside? So how do my colleagues perceive me? What can I learn by observing my own behavior today? Was my behavior good? Was it positive? If not, what are the actions that I can take to make it better tomorrow? Yeah? And have I made any impulsive decision under stress that I may regret later? Most important. Because the minute we go into that panic mode, the button is pressed, this is what we do. We take all the wrong decisions and then we sit and regret it later. Oh, if I had thought about it at that point, it would have helped me. So be very mindful of this one. Any questions? Can we move on? Either nobody is understanding anything or everybody is sleeping. Okay. Just checking. Yeah. The second domain of building emotional intelligence is self-management. So what do we do? Basically, managing self involves understanding your emotions and using them to be aware of yourself. So we just said the minute you walk into the office, just take 1 second and ask yourself, how am I feeling today? And once you are aware of that, if it is in the negative zone, you think, How can I change it to be more cheerful, to be more positive, so that people can easily approach me? So usually people who are good at managing their own self, they show high productivity, they always take initiatives, they have high integrity, they are good with analytical and logical reasoning, they are lifelong learners, and they are able to come up with creative solutions even to the most complex problems, because they think, they focus and they think. Any questions? So also with good self-control, you will easily find ways on how to address and manage your own emotions. I am feeling worried right now. What can I do about it? Is the situation under my control? No. Can I control somebody else falling sick? No. Can I control somebody else feeling a certain way? No. What is it that I can control? I can control how do I respond to the situation. Yeah? So they are able to basically manage their emotions in very complex and conflicting situations, and sometimes they are even able to channel those negative emotions to help them to find constructive solutions. The third domain, how can we improve our emotional intelligence? We be socially aware of the people around us. Yeah? So understand the emotions, needs and concerns of people around you. Don't be always self-centered. Don't just think I, me, myself. Yeah, we are all working together as a team. So sometimes if we are working on bigger projects, it's important that all the teams are working together as one unit, right? If there is for some reason a delay in the deliverable, you cannot go and tell the client she delayed the project. The client will say, I don't care, it's your company. Yeah, so it's very important to understand each other's emotions, needs and concerns, and put yourself in the other person's shoes. Practice the people skill, a fundamental skill of feeling empathy towards others. Discern and connect to the feelings of others. So coming back to Stella and Alice's situation, yeah, so what happened is, this is a real life example, by the way, it happened in another company. So Alice asked Stella third time, can you please explain to me, why do I need to do this? And Stella says, you know what, do it if you want to, otherwise forget it. I didn't teach you. She gets very frustrated, and in the heat of the moment, both of them walk out of the room. So Stella goes back home, comes the next day. Alice goes back home, but now she's almost into depression because she thinks, oh my God, what is everyone thinking about me at work? They think that I have low IQ, I have no self-worth, I am dumb, I am not able to perform, maybe I should have never taken this job. So she has started playing all the possible scenes in her mind. And she doesn't show up for work for the next 4 days. So the HR team has to now get involved into the entire situation. Yeah. So what has happened in the long run? Alice has missed office for 4 days, so her performance and productivity has gone down. Stella is also worried, and she gets a warning letter to say what happened, what was the situation, because it was only the two of you, so she's not at peace of mind. Her productivity and performance goes down, and the third person has to also now step in and spend some time investigating. So what could have Stella done differently in this situation to manage the situation? Sorry? It was just about recognizing what Alice was going through at that point of time. If she had shown a little bit of empathy, addressed Alice's emotions, and taken one last effort, the entire situation could have been completely different. Yeah? So here we are all from different cultures, different backgrounds. So when I say something, maybe a person from another country may perceive it completely differently. Yeah. So has it ever happened that somebody said something and the other person perceived it in a completely different way? They end up fighting, and then the entire productivity and performance and the delivery date is all missed out. Yeah, all these small things, miscommunications, gaps, confusions can be easily avoided by just taking that extra 5 minutes and talking and addressing the opposite person's emotions. Have you ever noticed if somebody is very agitated, very angry, and they come and talk to you, and if you put up a blank face and just ask them, is everything all right? Do you see that they just calm down one level immediately? What happens? Have you done anything to them? You have just addressed their emotion. You've just shown that I care for you by asking that. It's just that one extra action that makes all the difference. Yeah, so could Stella have done something different to salvage the situation? Absolutely. She could have just addressed Alice's emotions and told her that yes, I understand you are feeling like this, and maybe she could have taken 1 more minute to explain why they are doing what they are doing. So have you found yourself in conflicting situations like this, where things have just escalated and when you actually dig down deeper, it was nothing, it was just a simple conversation. Have you found yourself in such situations? What have you done? Looks like only you are going through everything. I'm just joking. Please, I'm just, exactly. Yes, yes, yes. Guys, come on, it's an open forum. I want an interactive session, yeah? Please. So, have you been oblivious to the feelings of people around you, or do you actually recognize their emotions and address them? Sorry?
Well, I guess not only with between employees. I think from management perspective also, we also go through the same kind of situation.
Absolutely.
Okay, so many a times when some kind of issues arise from the employee side, we sometimes it's just about talking it
Correct.
about it to understand what is it about, to resolve the situation.
Exactly.
Rather than escalating. This
True.
happened many a times. It happened in the last couple of weeks as well. So
Okay.
it's a regular thing. So
Okay.
many times if we take it, okay, there's nothing to talk about it and just okay, let's close the situation. Maybe it would end up on parting both ways.
Okay.
But when we address the situation, trying to understand
Exactly.
what is the other person facing,
Right.
many a times we come out of it. I think it's a very valid point.
Absolutely.
And even between colleagues also, I think it would work. We try to
100%.
hear them out,
100%. Because all the person wants is for the opposite person to understand what I'm going through right now. The minute you acknowledge it, you don't even have to do anything other than that. The minute you acknowledge that, they feel valued and cared for, they move on, and the entire situation changes drastically. Yeah. So what are some tips that we can easily use to increase our social awareness? Observe the behavior of people around you. When people walk around and they go to speak to others, who do they usually talk to? Do you have some good friends, 2, 3 good friends that you go and hang out with in the office? Yeah? Yeah? Why only those 2, 3 people?
I usually talk with everyone.
Okay, but do you hang out with everybody? Why?
Because I'm illegal sender.
Now, there are people I've seen like they go for movies together. They enjoy. There are
Yes,
teams to
yes,
see,
yes, yes.
They go for
Yes.
lunch together.
Absolutely, absolutely. So just notice who is talking to who, what is their situation like, are they in a good mood, how is each person's desk, is there a big pile of paper lying around, there are 25 post-its everywhere possible, everything is spread all over the place, or is the desk clean, spick and span? Notice everything, because all this gives you an indication of how the person is feeling, what the person is going through, what are the individual's feelings, what is the overall mood of the group. Is the group healthy, positive, cheerful, ready to take on more work, or they say, no, enough, please, I'm done for today, leave me alone. So what do you see in here? Please share with everybody so that everybody benefits. Is he saying something? What's his name? Adarsh, please, you can share it with everybody, no, so that everybody benefits. Whatever you were saying, just say it aloud. What happened? He doesn't want to share. Go ahead, speak up. This is your opportunity. You're getting an open door invitation to speak up. Come on. He is terrified.
Is question always.
Yes.
To say, not to say.
Exact question, whatever you are sharing here, just speak it out aloud. Whether it's a comment, whether it's a question, doesn't matter.
It's normal to see like now you are here to say about the mental stress or mental illness. So
I have not spoken yet about mental illness. We are only talking about emotions. Emotions.
So actually, the management and even everything arranged this one. So it's like to build up the what you are saying now. So to get rid of these things. So actually the management taken the
Initiative, right, right.
To improve positive environment employees.
Right.
So it's the same thing what you are saying.
Yeah. So what does it tell about them? If they're taking all this initiative to conduct these sessions, what does it tell about them?
They understand the social awareness.
Right, right. Do they care? Do they exhibit care by doing all this?
Yes, they have implemented all these things to improve the productivity as well.
So can you reciprocate the feelings?
What do you want
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. We didn't want to put you in a place of discomfort. Yeah. It's an open house discussion. So yeah, but it's a very valid point. I think all of you should understand the efforts that the company is taking to do these sessions for you guys so that your awareness is better. They also want to show you that they care for you. You are all a part of a very big family, Edge Technical, and they expect the same for you to reciprocate the care feelings. Yeah?
Yes.
All of us on board?
Yes.
Okay. The next step to build your emotional intelligence is basically how you manage your relationships at work. Are there a few people who are very close friends? I hang out with them, I go for lunch with them, I go for movies with them, I go for shisha with them. How do I share a good connection with others? Do I have a good bonding at my workplace? So once you're able to develop and maintain good relationships, you will obviously automatically demonstrate good social communication and interpersonal skills, right? If I'm comfortable with you, if I hang out with you, I can come and share everything with you. So it becomes a two-way communication and we understand each other, yeah? We remain connected, and that way, once you are connected to the other person, it's very easy to inspire and influence them and have an open two-way communication. So once all of this is in place, is it now ideal to have a clear and compelling vision for the entire team where everybody is in alignment with the goals and the vision? Yeah, will people have a better buy-in if they are all in sync with each other?
Yes.
So the entire process becomes easy. So some tips on building and managing your relationships, especially at workplace. Start with the habit of explaining your decisions. If Stella had taken 1 extra minute to explain why they were making the change in the process, it wouldn't have escalated to such a bad situation. It wouldn't have affected the performance, the productivity, and everything else in the office. Yeah? So once you explain the why behind the decision, once people understand what is the underlying purpose, the what, the how, the when, people have a better buy-in and they are in alignment with what you want to do in terms of what change you want to make, especially if the decision involves a big change that needs to be implemented. So has there recently been, Rakesh, any change in policy or procedure at work?
Yeah, there have been, the team-wise, yeah, we always used to discuss it weekly and see, how we can improve based on the market situation. And among the team activities, also the management has implemented many things, which, helps each employee to improve by themselves.
Right.
To build up the relationship on,
Now we have an events team, education.
I was just going to say that, and thank you. That is what I wanted to say. So I think there are two teams now. One is the socials team and one is the other knowledge sharing team, and they are taking in all the efforts to ensure that their relationships are built at workplace and people feel connected to each other. So once they show, the company, the management shows that they care, it's very natural for the other person to reciprocate the same feelings. Can we all take a minute now to think, how are your relationships with your colleagues? Is there anybody that you specifically don't like or don't get along with? And if there is such a person in your mind, what action steps can you take maybe on Monday or Tuesday to go ahead and make that a better relationship? It need not be directly on a scale of 1 to 10. It need not directly go from 1 to 10. Today you don't see eye to eye and on Tuesday you're hanging out and going for a movie. It need not be like that, yeah? It's a gradual process. So can all of us take 1 minute to analyze one such person in the office? Don't point out. Thank you. Thank you. We don't want conflicts right now. And once you've identified, what is the one action that you can take next week that you can do to better the relationship? Do you want to write it down somewhere so that you don't forget it on Monday or Tuesday next week?
A bit louder, Rohit.
One is planning a lot of things.
Got a call in between, so I was just telling him what he missed.
Yeah, so all of us have identified one person that we want to better our relationship with at work. Let me be very clear, yeah, what you do outside, we are not bothered. Okay, so how can you seek to understand yourself better and others in order to manage good relationships at work? Is that still a question, or do you have some ideas now? Do you have some implementable action items now? No? Guys, I need some answers.
They like everyone each other. No one think about it.
Sorry?
Proper sense of communication.
Very good. What else? Understanding the other person. Very good. What else? More empathy. Most important. Most important. What else? Anything else? So basically, developing your emotional intelligence again is like building a muscle. You need to consistently practice it on a daily basis. So first step is to be aware of yourself. Second step is to manage your own self once you're aware. Third step is to be socially aware of what's happening. And the fourth step is to build better relationships at work. So try and implement. Knowing is one thing, implementation is the key. Knowing and not doing is equal to not knowing. Yeah, so start implementing these small things in your day-to-day life and see how you thrive together as a team. So we saw emotions can change in a matter of seconds at work, yeah, but we know how to manage, how to address, and how to understand other people's emotions. So how have you managed your own emotions? How do you think you will feel if somebody shouts at you? Would you like to maintain that relationship with that person anymore? Would you be ready to work with them anymore after they've shouted at you? So same thing. Let's say for instance, two colleagues had an argument or a fight in the office and one of them steps out to meet the client. If they go with the same frame of mind, with the same emotions, what do you think is going to happen at the outcome of that meeting with the end client? What will happen? I just fought with her, I'm going to meet a client now, and I go in that same agitated and angry mood. What happens? This corner has been very quiet.
We have to add to the situation.
You can't answer. Yes, anybody. What will happen? If I go and talk to the client in a very angry and agitated tone because I've just had a fight with my colleague, what will happen? What will be the outcome of the meeting? We will lose the client. Thank you very much. So it is absolutely important to understand where you are and be mindful. I cannot carry the anger from a conversation or an argument that I had with my colleague and go ahead and display the same behavior or emotions with my client. There could be situations where you are dealing with an end client and the client is in a stressful state because maybe the products are not delivered on time, maybe the documentation is not done on time, and maybe the client is sometimes talking to you in a rude tone. But if you reciprocate the same, will it really help you? It will only worsen the situation. So address the emotions. That one step and you will see the opposite person just tones down and he will come back and talk to you nicely. So it is very, very important not to carry the emotions from one person to another person, especially with the end clients. And what actions can you do to salvage the situations in case if you find yourself in such conflicting situations? What actions can you take?
First, we will address that emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Second, we will listen.
10 on 10. 10 on 10 because that is all that they are expecting from you. Addressing and listening to them. So now we saw how emotions can change, right, in a matter of seconds. Do we know what are the triggers to these emotions? Can you give me an example? Only two people, it seems to me that only two people are attending my session. So what triggers these emotions? Go ahead.
Insulting.
Very good. What else?
Like personal harassment. Like
Okay, that's a very strong word, okay.
they will be like sometimes
Okay. Can we call it a blame? Yeah, can we call it a blame game? Okay, what else? Questioning your work. Are you self-questioning or somebody else is questioning? Somebody else is questioning, very good. What could be some other triggers?
involving family members in that. If we did something wrong,
Mhm.
they will be gossiping there, involving our family members.
Okay, very good. What else? Any other stressors that you can think of, or what triggers these emotions?
And somebody's emotions also will be sometimes I will get stressed. For example, if she cried for some reason, I will be on that stress mood because
That's right. Anything else? Ego, 100%. Not sometimes, most of the times. What else? So it is very important to understand what triggers these emotions. And once you know what are these triggers, again, go back to the basic. Is this something under my control? Can I do something about the situation? If yes, excellent. Do it. then and there. Yeah, don't just stop at thinking. Taking action is the key. If it is not under my control, how do I choose to respond to the situation is the key. That's about it. Yeah, so to understand the emotional culture, basically emotional culture of the company comprises of the feelings, emotions, moods and attitudes of the people about their job and the overall workplace, right? We saw that each one of us, our emotional state affects what decisions and choices that we make. When we are in a positive state of mind, we are able to focus and take correct decisions. But when we are in a negative or agitated or angry state of mind, we always tend to take impulsive, wrong decisions which we may regret later. Emotional culture in the company will impact how your colleagues and subordinates perform at their work. Simple, easy to understand. And remember that emotions always manifest through facial expressions and body language. So the key is to be aware of your own facial expressions and your body language that you may be displaying unconsciously. Some companies, right, where there is a very high level of stress, I always recommend to play some calm music in the background. Sometimes we think that for few people the music may be a distraction, but it is actually not, because it puts them in the right state of mind and they are able to focus and concentrate better. So if you want to give it a try, please go ahead. The music that we use for meditation, you can just play it at a very low volume and let it run in the background. You will see how people's mood changes drastically.
We have a brand anyway that's tied up. So we can actually use their music system.
Excellent, excellent.
It's a demo system.
Yes, yes. So that would be perfect. Give it a try and do let me know.
Yeah, maybe visual might be, but distracting.
Visual will probably be distracting.
Yeah, but,
this is just running in the background, right?
Yeah.
So any time that I focus on it, I'm positively now aware that something good is running in the background. So I change my mind accordingly. I change my thoughts accordingly. Yeah. So what about the emotional culture of the organization? Is the culture positive or negative? How can we quickly check? By asking a few simple questions. Are the team members usually highly motivated, or do they feel let down? They lack motivation. They are not ready to take on more responsibility. Do they feel supported and empowered to do their tasks, or are they feeling a lack of support? Right? How good is your connection? Have you done a good rapport building with other team members, or do you feel disengaged? So take a minute to analyze what's the emotional culture in my organization. Is it overall positive or is it negative? If it is positive, well done, good job. How can I make it better? If it is negative, what action steps can I take to make a change today? Everyone is looking blank. Any questions? Any comments, thoughts you want to share? Okay, so simple tips to manage the emotional culture. Build relationships beyond the office. Have team building activities and bond with your team members. Know that when the team members know that you care, they will more likely reciprocate those feelings. And it goes even for other relationships with your colleagues. Get to know their family members, what motivates them, what are their goals, what are their desires, what are their stressors. Because once you understand that, you will be in a better position to see and analyze what will trigger the other person, the opposite person, and make well-informed decisions to make your workplace a better environment. Yeah, so here I think here is where the two teams come into picture, the socials team and the knowledge sharing team. They've gone out of their way to organize these sessions so that they can show that they really care for you guys and they treat you as one big family. Yeah, any questions? So summary, emotional intelligence is very, very important if you want to thrive at the workplace, and it's an equal combination of EQ and IQ. We don't want people with very high IQs and low EQs, or we don't want people with very high EQs and low IQs. It has to be the right balance and the right mix. To be emotionally intelligent, apply the knowledge of the 4 domains that we just learned. Can anybody recap for me? What was the first one? Being self-aware. Yeah, what was the second one? Managing your own self. What was the third one? Being socially aware, what's happening, and relationship management. So work on these consistently on a daily basis. Adopt tools and strategies to manage your own and co-workers' emotional states and stress. So what are the 3 tools that we learned to manage stress better? And meditation. So can all of you commit to yourselves to practice these things consistently starting today? Yeah, and notice the difference in your life. So I would like to just end the discussion with a quote: be the change you want to see in the world. And it's a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. Any questions, thoughts, comments, any light bulb moments? Please feel free to share.